Hey guys, Jason here from 716 Automotive, and today we're taking a look at our 2003 BMW 330i ZHP. The ZHP was only produced in the United States from 2003 to 2006. It features increased performance and handling as well as more aggressive styling.
So we'll note some of the differences between the ZHP and a stock E46. One of the biggest differences you'll note is the front and rear bumper. It's called the M-Tech 2 bumper kit, and it gives the car a lot more aggressive look. Okay, next on the ZHP are the rims. The ZHP has style 135 18-inch rims. It gives the car an awesome look. Along with the rims, the ZHP has an M Performance suspension, giving it 6% stiffer springs in the front and 8% stiffer springs in the rear. However, this ZHP is sitting on Coney oranges and H&R springs.
The ZHP came standard with Alcantara seating, steering wheels, and boot covers, where this particular model is optioned with the premium package, which upgrades you to black leather. As you can see, the bolsters aren't too aggressive, but they keep you in place when you're going around corners. Another thing specific to the ZHP are the orange gauge needles. Here you can see the ZHP weighted shifter along with the black cube trim, which you guys will see in the next clip. The ZHP either came with black cube trim or silver cube trim depending on the color of your interior.
Let's hop in the car and go for a drive. Okay guys, we're back here in the ZHP taking it out for a drive. Before we get started, I'm going to go over some of the specs on the car. So the ZHP has a 3.0 liter inline 6 producing 235 horsepower and 222 foot-pounds of torque.
The ZHP with a 6-speed manual transmission produces a 0 to 60 time of 5.6 seconds.
So I purchased this ZHP about 3 years ago. I always loved the looks and styling of the E46. When I saw this ZHP in person, I fell in love with it and purchased it the same day. When I took it out on a test drive, one of the first things I noticed was its handling. This car handled like it was on rails. The second thing I noticed about the ZHP is its torque. The car only has 222 foot-pounds of torque, but it definitely throws you back in your seat. As I mentioned earlier, this car here is currently sitting on Coney oranges and H&R springs. I think this setup here makes a huge difference. It's a big upgrade over the stock ZHP suspension. Now remember, the ZHP came with an upgraded suspension, including better control arms, stronger bushings, and all kinds of stuff, stiffer springs. But with the H&R springs and Coney oranges, I think it complements this car really well. What do you think about, Jason?
Although it has a stiffer springs, the ride quality is pretty good. It's good enough to be a daily driver. You know, it's not something that's too harsh. In my opinion, it rides fairly well for the performance that it offers.
And that was one of the first things I noticed when I test drove this car 3 years ago, is that it rode so smooth. At the time I was driving a 2007 Civic Si on its stock suspension, and honestly, I think this car rides a lot better. I currently have a 2015 Civic Si, and I still think that the ZHP here with H&R springs and the Coney oranges rides better than that car as well. The only negative I have about it is that it sits so low. I mean, I probably have like maybe 4 inches of clearance off the ground. So the ZHP has a 6-speed manual gearbox. I think it's a great gearbox here for the car. The shifts are very precise, throws are pretty short, and this car always stays in the power band. Now remember, this car has 3.46 differential, which is an upgrade over the stock, which was, I believe, 3.07. So the only negatives of that is that your RPMs are going to be a little bit higher when you're cruising around town, but for the most part, this car handles it pretty well. I believe when you're going like 75 miles an hour, your RPMs are somewhere around 3,000. So it's really not bad at all. But the added bonus is, like, right now I'm in 4th gear going about 42 miles an hour, and I can step on this and we'll have power. We'll get going, no problem. With the 3.07, I might have to upshift up to 3rd gear to get that power that I need. But this car really does handle well. Now the suspension here was installed around 90,000 miles, which is about 40,000 miles ago, and I think it's handling really well. I know with the aftermarket suspensions, usually you get like maybe 30 to 50,000 miles on them, but I think this one still has some life in it. Would you recommend this setup, Jason?
I think it's a very solid setup and especially at its age, it's still faring pretty well.
I think I would definitely recommend Coney Orange's H&R Springs. I mean, the ride is the biggest thing, because remember, I daily drive this car, and most people that have ZHPs probably daily drive their car. And this setup is extremely comfortable, and it gives you everything that you're looking for. You want the performance, it has it. It's definitely a worthwhile upgrade. I don't have any experience with coilovers, but I'm sure, you know, the results will be the same, but they're going to be more expensive. And also with the drop in the ride height, I'm not sure, it's probably a couple inches. It gives the car a really good look. What do you think about the ride height, Jason?
Yeah, the ride height's a perfect height. It's not too low where you're scraping off everything, but it's also gives it a good look, a good road presence when you're driving it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point there. I was going to note that since I've owned this car, you know, this suspension has 40,000 miles. I have never scraped, I've never hit a fender. It doesn't make any funny or odd noises. No rubbing noises at all. So I'm very impressed. I did notice that it is sitting a bit lower now. So I think over time the springs probably sag, but still, I don't have any issues. So Jason also has a German car. He drives a 2011 Volkswagen Jetta. How do you compare the ZHP to the Jetta?
The thing is, like, when you jump in between the cars, you have that German feel. It feels, you know, the steering's tighter, the suspension's a little bit stiffer. You know, they have that German car feel.
So what about the interior materials here, Jason?
The interior materials on this car are top notch. Like the leather, this car is, what is it, 14 years old now?
Yeah.
And the leather is held up pretty well. Keep in mind, the people that owned this car previously, they all took care of the car for the most part. So interior's held up pretty well over the years. The leather is pretty soft.
The leather's in great shape. The side bolsters are all in great shape. And I think it's held up really well over time.
There's not really many signs of wear within this interior. There's, you know, a few creases here and there, but it's very, very minor, and that's something to expect from
a daily driver.
Yeah.
Also, everything works on this car.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know a lot of cars from this age, you know, have like issues with like the electrical. They have like sunroof issues, or you have, you know, power window failures, stuff like that. But everything in here works just as it did when it was brand new. What's cool about this car is how timeless the design is. With it being this old, it still looks fairly, you know, modern. It fits in with all the cars. It still has that aggressive look, you know. It doesn't feel old.
The ZHP here has that timeless look on the inside and the outside. You know, we're sitting in this car here, it's 2003, and the interior is just beautiful, I think. The craftsmanship, all the materials they used on the dashboard, armrest, everything is perfect in my opinion.
So let's take this car on the back roads and see how it performs. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked our review on the ZHP, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.